Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only El Marico.
Welcome to another episode of Fan Talk. I'm your host Selector, and today we'll be discussing the 31st game of the Bundesliga, Hertha BSC at home versus Eintracht Frankfurt. If you remember my last episode, I requested Bruno Labbadia to come out in a 4-4-2, and that he did. However, maybe I should have mentioned that I wanted a flat 4 in the midfield against Eintracht Frankfurt, and he brought the diamond. So we played with Jahrstein in goal, Pekarik as right back, Boyata center back, Torunariga center back, Plattenhardt left back, Skjelbred as the holding midfielder, Grujic and Meyer as a little bit more attacking midfielders, Darida as like the central attacking mid, and in front of him Piontek and Ibisevic. The moment I saw the formation, I had a bad feeling in my stomach. I saw no winger, and as of late, under Bruno Labbadia, we have been, the focal point of our attack has always been over the wings. We had fast players on the wings, Luke Bacchio, Dilrosun, Mittelstädt, but Mittelstädt is out with a strange fever. Luke Bacchio was on the bench, maybe because he wasn't showing great form as of lately, or because we were missing one winger and he decided to just go with no winger. Yeah, so we didn't have any more options. We had to come out in 4-4-2, which kind of disguised into like a 4-3-3 in attack with Piontek and Darida on the... it was... I felt like that's when we lost the game already. I was really not happy. I was hoping for the best, but I was not happy. However, if we look at the flow of the game, first half, it didn't all go bad. I mean, Frankfurt came out in a 3-5-2 or 3-6-1. But anyways, 3 defenders, super congested midfield, and then Dost as the lone striker up top with maybe Kamada. Their attacking mid is like something like a false 9 or a hanging striker or attacking midfielders really high up. The first half, we did not get through their midfield. It was so tough. Our passing was down. We kept getting intercepted. It felt like we couldn't string together 3 passes. And it's all because there was never an outlet on the wing. Everything from... and if there was somebody on the wing, it was Meyer or Grujic. And whenever they got the ball, it was like... I got the ball on the wing, what am I going to do? Oh my God, like they're not wingers. They don't have the speed and they don't have the training to be a winger. Those guys, Meyer, Grujic, Skjelbred, those are number, like what they call the holding or the defensive midfielders, the number 6. Grujic and Meyer are arguably number 8s. They have that attacking push forward. But to put them on the wing, like, oh my God. Anyways, in a strike of genius, in the, what minute was it? The 24th minute, Piontek tanks his way into the box of the opponent and scores an arguably really beautiful goal. He had a little bit of luck, but he tanked his way through there. They almost like tackled the ball away in his shin, jumped back in front of him like a perfect through ball. Good goal. Piontek, the form is going upward. He's scoring better and better goals, and this was arguably a very important goal. We go up in the 24th minute. It looks like, the what was it? The Augsburg's game. It looks like the Augsburg's game all over. We get a goal relatively early with mentality and fight. we keep it together, we see it over the finish line. It had the making of that. And then in the 34th minute, it all starts to unravel slowly. One of our motivational leaders and one of the real leaders of the team, Skjelbred, comes off with he signaled this, so I imagine he pulled a muscle and had to be replaced and subbed out. And on comes Lazar Samardzic, yeah, I think I'm getting better at this. He comes on and he is an attacking midfielder, so we rotate around in the midfield to compensate and move him. I think Grujic went back and he switched in the position of Grujic. But we lost one of our big defenders, and from there it started to unravel. So it was no wonder that in the stoppage time of the first half, we get there is a situation where Bas Dost kind of gets away from our center backs, and as he crosses in front of Boyata, and now Dost is a tall, skinny dude, and he has these long reaches when he runs, and he pushes his leg out there and clips Boyata, who has actually his foot planted, clips him in the shin, and that is enough, of course, to bring you off stride. Made him hit his other foot with his toes and fall over in the box. Luckily, it was not a penalty, and the yellow and red was taken away, and he was given a straight red because he had 8 yellow cards at that point in time. He actually received a yellow card earlier. So instead of having an additional yellow card and then being at 9, so being in danger of getting a yellow card and then missing a game, he now got a red card, which was even though there was no intent to hurt him, it wasn't a bad foul, it just kind of was an accident. Yes, you have to give the foul. Yes, you have to give him a red card because he was last man and he clearly hindered him from I want to call it a 90% to 100% chance on goal. So it was all, as much as we hated, it was all fair. And they reduced the sentencing from 2 games, which is normal, to 1 game. So even though this is a bad situation, this is still a good situation because we will have him back against the Leverkusen game and then against the Gladbach game. So he's missing for Freiburg, which I think we can compensate. And this happened right before halftime. So now we lost one of the boss of the defense, Boyata, our best defensive performer since the restart. We don't want to look, further. We could look further, and he arguably was one of the better players this whole season. We lose him early in the game, and we go down. Again, we do some subs. We bring Stark for Ibisevic, take off a striker, bring on a defender. It's all well. But Stark he's not the leader he used to be for us in defense. He has really been struggling this season. He has arguably not played a decent game this season. And he comes on and Hertha just defensively just falls apart in the second half. There is no more relief forward. We're losing the ball simple in midfield. Piontek as the lone striker, he's just floating in space. Every time now and then he gets a good touch or he tries to trap it to somebody, but it's just not enough people that are following. It's really tough. So in the 51st minute, Bas Dost gets his amazing acrobatic goal. I have seen very few people that can score from that angle, and I have even seen less people that score while jumping like that in the air. So that was an amazing goal from Dost against us. We sub again. We bring on a winger, Eswein for Meyer, and Klünter for Samardzic to bring a little bit more of that wing play, but too little and too late. Maybe Klünter and Samardzic and Eswein or Eswein and Luke Bakio should have started. Nankam didn't come off the bench. I thought that this would have been a game where Nankam could have been interesting too. He didn't. We get scored on again by an amazing solo dribble from Kamada, who arguably jukes 3-4 defenders in the box. And I want to say that under normal circumstances, somebody would have made a tackle, but because of this card on Boyata, and the way how the ref was calling the game, I feel like everybody was just thrown off. Like they were missing or they didn't like the line that the ref was going, and then literally it felt like it had them scared, because this was not the only time when the last goal fell. I want to say. The third goal, the next goal, which scored in the 69th minute by Ndika, who was there, if I'm not mistaken, one of their 3 center backs that were playing. I mean, there is this beautiful screenshot that was shared on social media. There's Guzman in the box, surrounded by 7 Hertha players. 7 Hertha players, that's over half the team is around him. He gets a chance to play the ball back out the box, where Ndika does arguably a beautiful strike. It was wet, it was just and just perfectly in the corner where Jahrstein couldn't make a play on it anymore. Man, and I mean, it just continued, man. And then in the end, Silva scored again for his second goal. I want to forget about this game. This game, I hope, was just given to the mere fact that they took the head of the snake. We lost 2 of our leaders. The only leader that was left on the field was Ibišević. That was then later on subbed off too, to bring on Stark, because Piontek was arguably playing better than him. You can't deny it. So we had no leader left. It was just a bunch. We were just looking like chickens running around with the head cut off. It was all bad. It was all bad. And I want to say that currently we are almost nothing offensively without Cunha. When Cunha is out there, we are a completely different team. I mean, look at the last 2 games. We didn't look very good offensively. Which gives me hope, because Cunha was subbed in, so Cunha seems to be fine. Cunha will be back against Freiburg, and we will need him. I hope that maybe Dilrosun can make a comeback, or we find a way again to play with wingers. We need wingers. We're not set up for a 4-3-3. Our midfielders, as in Grujic, and even though Grujic's form has been getting better, but that was more in a holding role. In the role that he was playing now, where he was playing the number 8, where he was a box-to-box guy, something wasn't right, man. Something just wasn't right with the whole squad, man. And it's hard to really say, besides the formation and us losing our leaders, what else could have contributed to this. So I just really, really hope that we can take, how they say, you just wipe your mouth and wipe off the blood, and you go into the next fight, which is what we need to do. The Freiburg game is arguably the last game where we have a higher chance of victory and 3 points. So Europe, that's out of the question. I don't think that we can get past Eintracht Frankfurt anymore. I think there maybe if Schalke keeps up what they had a pretty good game, they're above us again now. I think it's between the 2 of them and or Wolfsburg, who are sitting there right now. I think that's it. But every position still matters, because depending on what table finish you do at the end of the season, you get allocated more or less TV money. So let's still try to fight, and let's not give up ourselves. Let's not give up ourselves like how we gave up ourselves in this Eintracht Frankfurt game. I mean, geez, man. 5 shots. They had 18. We ran 106 kilometers. That's arguably the worst. It's definitely the worst under Labadia. I always want to say it's the worst the second half of the season or the whole season. They ran 110. We had a passing percentage of 76%. That is not where we want to be. You could see it. It was just bad. We only won 45% of tackles. We only had, at home, 39% possession. Let that sink in for a moment. Under Bruno Labbadia, who comes out of the possession, who comes from possessing the ball and opening the opponent up. 39%, man. And yes, Bruno was rightfully lit after the game. He was not having it. So, experiment failed. Let's not bring this formation back, right? Let's figure out something that we're more used to with wingers. We still have wingers. I mean, S-Wine is not the best, but to be honest, in retrospective, I would have loved to have S-Wine out there on the wing. Him and Luka Bacchio, even if both are not that much in form, I feel like they would have given us a better outlet. And maybe with the speed. And to be honest, against Dortmund, S-Wine had this wonderful run and he had this good shot on goal. He could have scored. You know, I felt like, you know, since worse just came to worse, we could have built on that. It's not much to build on, but it's something to build on. As you guys can probably see and hear, I'm very frustrated. I did not see it the way it is. Or, did not see it the way it is. I did not see this ending this way. I thought that, yeah, but then again, okay, we lost Mittelstadt due to a fever and man, I hope we can recuperate a little bit, but it's looking a little bit dire. And remember, after things started going really sour this season, our only goal this season was to be ahead of Union in the table. They're currently 3 points behind us. Let that sink in for a moment. 3 points, so we're in danger of getting lapped by them again. Of course, they might not get more than 3 points, but I would like to make sure and get at least 4 points. I like to win against Freiburg and draw against either Leverkusen or Gladbach to see this out over the finish line. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, next up, SC Freiburg away. We're away. Remember, they have one of the weirdest pitches in German football, Bundesliga. It's short and they have a slope. So let's see how we do. Bruno Labbadia, please do something. Also, before I finish today's episode, I want to express my condolences to the Brooks family. Not long ago, there has been a killing of yet another black man. This time it was in my city. It was not far away from where I lived. Rayshard Brooks. Rest in peace, rise in peace. All condolences to his family. I cannot believe that the police are still doing this dumb shit that they're doing, that there is no change. Anyways, police chief resigned, everybody. Let's move forward. Let's hope that there are better things ahead. From Atlanta, Georgia, I'm your host, Selector. You've been listening to Fan Talk, everything Hertha BSC.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hertha.